My dad did that.
Miss Teresa.
You know the long hallway that comes from the movies outside the building. We walking down that hallway.
The kind of people that wear Gamebreaker Apparel are people with active lifestyles.
Hello, out there in podcast world. Once again, I am Carlton McDuffie, aka Pastor Patch. This is another episode of the Straight Talk with Pastor Patch podcast, and I am excited today. I got my man in the house, Travis Stroud. I call him Big Little Bro. I got a couple of big little bros. I actually had that's why I just feel like today is special. I was able to eat breakfast with one of my other big little bros this morning, Fred Chapman. Real quick shout out to Fred. Fred's a junior varsity girls basketball coach over at Lakeside High School. We chopped it up today about some stuff, and so that's one of my big little bros. This is my other one right here. Travis Stroud, very accomplished man of God, man of a business entrepreneur, visionary, husband, father, two beautiful children with promising futures. And I'm gonna get right into his bio real quick so we can get, all of this out there and get into this talk here. Professional bio: Travis Stroud Sr., BBA 98, Management Information Systems, Terry College of Business, visionary, entrepreneur, realtor, consultant. I forgot you got into realty. Travis Stroud Sr., recognized leader in technological, athletic, real estate, entertainment industry. Following his career as an athlete, which we're going to get into today, he worked as a consultant, strategist for various Fortune 500 companies, media conglomerates, AT&T, Caterpillar, Disney, yada, yada, yada. Dang, bro, I ain't got the budget for you, bro. It's just, Travis founded 3 companies: Gamebreaker Corporation, Quest Development Incorporated, Mad Skills Foundation. Through these companies, he was successfully consulted, recruited, and developed several successful projects and leaders in the business, information technology, entertainment spaces through his company Gamebreaker. Travis and his partners created a patented product used to protect and preserve soil wet apparel after workouts. Wow, yeah, you tell me a little bit about that. The patented technology has also been used to dry wet footballs and baseballs during contests. Cool. Furthermore, Travis has had several guest appearances as a sports analyst on CBS, SEC, Rap Show, and 680 The Fan, Atlanta Sports Talk Radio. I am amongst those people? Wow. Okay. Travis has endeavored in several different industry initiatives. However, a mentor at heart. Yes, that's what you are. He devotes his spare time serving on the board of Sports Leadership Arts Management Academy as an academic advisor for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl Play It's Smart program. Travis is a proud member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, Big Dog Incorporated, and is often involved in philanthropic activities of the fraternity and other outreach programs locally and nationally. Hence, Travis embodies the words of his favorite scripture. Yes, sir. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gifts makes room for him. I'm gonna get into some of your high school stuff later. Dude,
oh, man.
Hey man, let's just stop. I don't really feel
Man, I paid for that. I paid for that. I gave him some bullet points of some customer service jobs I had, they came up with that resume. So,
man,
that was money well spent.
Hey.
I'm just playing. But no, for real. It's been a grind. None of that has been easy. Coming out from Decatur.
Yes, sir.
Gresham Park.
Yes, sir.
I consider myself one of the Gresham Park legends that laid my stone on some of those before me. And You know, you got guys coming behind us. And
baseball and football.
yeah, man. And from Gresham Park Elementary School, Gresham Park Recreation Center, my parents put us in the M program. You know, down by Lawwood, kind of doing their thing on the south side of town. So my older brother graduated from Walker High School, and then my middle brother and I, we ended up going up to Peachtree. Peachtree merged with Dunwoody, and then a legend was born from there. Played 3 sports, wrestling, won a couple of championships wrestling, and baseball, and won a football championship as well.
What position baseball again?
Right field, first base. Yeah, throw right, hit from the left side, man. Was a career 394 hitter.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, big dudes can hit. You know, at the end of the day, we don't just hit for power. And from there, man, went on to the University of Georgia. Was one of the highly recruited athletes in 1994. Peyton Manning and I, we received National Players of the Year awards coming out of high school. Went to University of Georgia, started as a true freshman, was able to play both sports, baseball and football, man. And, you know, from there, I did get injured my freshman year. So I did have to play through injuries first 2 years, because when I went there, man, and started as a true freshman, had some success, made freshman all SEC team, and then the following year made most promising sophomore. I had to play through those injuries, never redshirted, played, 4 true years. Through 2 torn PCLs in my knee. I tore my Achilles. I dislocated my elbow. So I went through it, man. So I had to change the why. You know, I tell young folk all the time, understand what your motivations are and why you do what you do. Because then once you always go back to that why, your motivation, it makes it a little bit more, I guess, doable or durable or, I guess easier, man, to kind of go through, because sometimes you lose.
Pause for a second.
Okay.
First off, I want to just lay the groundwork. The title of this, which may be a little cheesy, but I'm gonna go with it. Is the title of this podcast is "In the Zone for the End Zone." Now, like I said, it may sound a little cheesy, but I'm going with it because it's perfect for where I want to go in this interview. And I wanted to pause you simply because I wanted to reverse a little bit. Coming out of high school, like you said, you were highly touted. I want you to kind of deal with a little bit of where you were mentally with that, your expectations, what you were thinking the next steps were going to be, where you were trying to go. Give me your headspace as a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid?
17, 18-year-old kid.
Before you jump into that, going to a major D1 school, you about to try to play 2 sports and all that. In your mind, where do you see, like, man, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Tell me about where your head is.
Yeah, I mean, for the first part, man, my parents could afford to send us to school, so, we had to kind of use what we had to kind of get where we wanted to go. So we used our skill sets, right? We took being student athletes serious, and then was able to leverage our athleticism to kind of help us go through that. You got to kind of watch what
2 other brothers, right?
2 older brothers, yeah. All of us were athletes. My middle brother, helped reignite the Georgia State program, and started it and lit fire to where it is, today. And then coming out, man, you got to watch what you ask for, because, I never really, I just always wanted to be the best. I remember growing up watching He-Man. I wanted to be He-Man. G.I. Joe. I wanted to be G.I. Joe. Whether it was Bo Jackson, Dion, I just wanted to be those dudes. Had no real idea of where it would take me. I just knew whenever I had a chance to compete, I wanted to get in and get it done, because I was the fat kid growing up. I was a baseball player. I wasn't the most athletic. I turned into a good athlete later on. I would say 7th, 8th grade. Well, 6th, 7th, 8th grade is when I really started to turn the corner. From 5 years old to about 6th, 7th grade, I was fat out, big dog. I could play baseball though. I was a heck of a baseball player. And those from Gresham Park, they know about it. And then I kind of transitioned over to tapping into the athleticism later on, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then I flourished.
You caught up to your body.
Caught up to my body, man. 8th grade, I was 265. Yeah, I was 6'1.5", almost 6'2", man, playing running back in the 8th grade. Big dog, yes sir.
Wow.
But no, you know that the expectation, I had no idea that I would, you know, accumulate the accolades that I had, or turn into the player that I did, or even the student athlete. Because I was a quiet kid, I was reserved, you know. But I played the bass and strings back in the day. So my older brothers used to look at me, you know, this day and time, they, you know, with this council culture, they were hard on me because I was playing in the strings and I was acting. Wow. I was a thespian. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then, still always, have the spirit. But, when I went, from high school to college, I just wanted to compete and be the best. And that fueled my existence, my being, the whole nine. Whether it was in the classroom, whether it was on the field, I'm talking about debating, pumping gas, I don't care what it was. I just wanted to be the best or whatever I wanted to do.
Where do you think? Where would you say that trait came from? Is that something you learned from your pops? That's something that you just kind of had in you? Was it a mixture?
Man, my daddy taught my brothers and I consistency, man, routine, accountability, the whole nine. So we grew up in a 1,300 square foot home. It was one and a half baths. Me and my two brothers had to share a room until we were grown, and we pretty large to be in one room. So my dad, went to the military, came home. He from Middle South Georgia. He was a stern, person. Didn't speak loud, didn't really say much, but when he spoke, we listened. Right. And my dad instilled humility in us because it didn't matter what type of success that we had. He was always talking about what we didn't do the right way, right? It wasn't a lot of patting us on the back. I was telling my son before he left, I understand why my dad never told us he loved us. It was understood because he provided for us. We always had cars. We always had food. Yeah, we big in here. So it wasn't like we going without. And I was like, he never told us he loved us. I think it was because, him raising alpha males and him being an alpha male, he wanted to make it known that, you don't know how far I'm going to take these hands, if you get there. Right. Us coddling our kids this day and time and hugging them and telling them we love them, they know it's only a certain place will take that discipline.
And the government and the institutions backing that.
Yeah, and with my dad, bro, we didn't know how far he was going to take them hands.
Right. Different day and age. When we was coming up, your neighbor might take you.
Yeah, exactly. And then drag you home by your collar, right. And then they beat you on the way in the house. Right. But it made us who we are, man, at the end of the day. But yeah, it started, and then my mom was a nurturer. My mom's to this day is, my biggest, cheerleader, my biggest fan. Of course I got my wife and, my kids, but, it started with the two parent. Believe it or not, it was one of those things to where people didn't think I would be tough enough to navigate the waters of, D1 ball because I came from a two-parent home. You would have thought that would have made me more prepared, but in the eyes of the people in the system or whomever, they looked at it as, oh, he ain't from the hood, he ain't hard enough, he ain't got the grind, to move.
False stereotypes.
But that's the narrative that's being painted right now. Mm-hmm. That's why they grab, I think, the single parent dude and showcase him rather than showcasing the people that come from the two parent homes. Yeah, the preparedness. I mean, it's you can see it. I mean, just offhand, I don't have an example right now, but most of the 30 for 30s and the outside the lines, they don't talk about the success of two parent homes. It's always talking about broken homes or dudes voided because the dad's not there, the whole nine. I had all that. But you would have thought that would have made me more prepared, but I guess they figured that, the entitlement of having and not having to get it out the mud. We still had to get it out the mud. I just told you I had to wake up face to face with two other dudes. That's how close we stayed in the room with cousins, with our homeboys. My dad raised, man, at his funeral, it was probably 1,200 people at his funeral. You was there? You know what I'm saying? So,
But I think that's a misconception because entitlement is entitlement. It doesn't mean that it's naturally associated with being in a two-parent home.
Yeah.
These days, maybe it's more that because we're different parents.
Yeah.
A lot of these parents are scared to be parents.
Yeah.
But entitlement is, giving someone something that they don't really deserve as a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You didn't come up like that.
Yeah. No. Then we had to earn it. Before we could go out. Even if our friends was there, we had people staying at home. They had to help us with our chores in order for us to, come outside and go swimming, cut the grass, take the trash out, edge it, clean the house. It was just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. And we wanted to make sure that we did with our parents. We never questioned them. Probably should have on some of the stuff we did, but we never questioned them. Like, why I got to pick the house up and sweep under it and then put it back?
Well, hey, look at the result.
Yeah, man, it worked out for us, man. It worked out for us. I think we need more of that. But just going back to my mindset was, it was just the beginning. I never enjoyed the successes. I was always looking. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I made because I never sat there and seized,
Took a season to enjoy.
To enjoy, because I was always looking for the next accomplishment.
Gotcha.
And, whether it was a state championship or being recruited, I was always looking at the next situation because my whole thing was getting my family, and building the legacy of, bridging that gap of generational wealth. Right. That was one of the hardest things I had to deal with when I fell short. Coming out being highly touted, one of the top players, in the nation, playing both sports, having early success, having a degree, Terry College of Business, was making it. And to lose that, I felt embarrassed coming back to the crib because I didn't accomplish. I was so close. And I know a lot of us deal with that. You got a lot of folk dealing with that right now. That's why, when they fall short, you don't see them around, or some people turn to different things.
Well, see, that's what I want to get into, man. When you say fall short, because I can't agree with that when I look at your accomplishments in your life. To me, you didn't fall short. Now, you may have not accomplished the specific things you wanted to accomplish, which we all deal with, but I don't think you fell short. So let's talk about a little bit of that. Let's talk about UGA.
Well, I think falling short, man, we goal-driven. The reason why we like we are, you track. Why you Kool-Aid? I don't know if they know you as Kool-Aid.
That's another podcast. Stop it, man. Stop it. I'm trying to work up to that. I'm trying to establish.
But no, I got you.
We'll double back and deal with Kool-Aid.
But the thing is, the reason why, we were who we are is because we were goal-driven. Right. We saw a situation. We emulated, that situation. And then, we went after it. And, we have goals, and once you start accomplishing goals and you start having successes at a high level, if you fall short of that, you tend to look at yourself as a failure for whatever reason. So, I think when you have a goal and you set that goal and you fall short of it, you check that off as, falling short. Yeah, as a failure. I want to be a, NFL Hall of Fame. I got Dunwoody Hall of Fame. I got, the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. Recently, one of my mentees, put that in perspective, that you did accomplish that, but it wasn't what I had set for myself. So a lot of times I feel like
you're talking about the recent.
Yeah, the recent. No, I'm grateful for it, but my goal was. So
recently you were inducted into
the National Football Foundation and the College Hall of Fame.
Gotcha.
Yeah, University of Georgia Hall of Fame.
Gotcha.
And it's definitely a great absolute accomplishment, but we had sights on that other thing, and
what stopped that?
The injuries. Yeah, I think the injuries and lack thereof of opportunities. Hey, if Lamar Jackson can't get paid, he was an MVP. And he do amazing things. He big 2.0.
Yes.
Because they scared he gonna get injured. And you got somebody who suffered 2 PCLs, dislocated elbow.
Hold on, I want to rewind because what you just said. Vic 2.0.
Yeah.
I'm partial to Vic. I'm a Vic fan. I don't think he was. I know he the dogs and all that. He served his time, and I'm going on the soapbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, man, it's just one of those things to where, you know, the injuries. Nobody's going to invest in, you know, a car with a bad engine or a rebuilt engine when they can get one that ain't never been damaged. You know, it's one of those things to where, you know, you have all these accolades, and I just thought wrong that you know, the more I played injured, the more I would have shown that I'm durable and that I can play through it. But it was the wrong thought process, and I didn't get good insight from people around me to tell me, try to sit out, rest, make sure you're healthy, and get back out. And I think that sacrifice. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, I got to believe that it's what God had for me.
But you did play arena ball.
Yeah. I mean, I was free agent with the Falcons, man.
Yeah, I thought so.
Got released. Then I went down to Miami and played in the Arena League. And then I just retired myself because I thought I was settling again. You know, it's like want to navigate and then you get an expedition. You know what I'm saying? Or the NFL, you know, Hall of Fame, and then you get, you know, done with the Hall of Fame, which is great honor, but it's all about it's all about perspective and relativity of the expectations that you have for yourself. Is it okay as a man to shoot for this, but then if you get this, you cool and walk away? I think that's where society is going right now, when everybody get a trophy or an award. So you just have to, you know, understand, not really logic, man, because the word ain't logical. You know, when you say your footsteps are ordered, you know, by God, and, you know, you look at Jeremiah 29:11 about, you know, all the things I have for you. Me alone know exactly what I got for you.
Yes, sir.
You know, I ain't gonna let you fail. You know what I'm saying? All of that. So,
Okay, so let's go there.
Yeah.
You talk about Jeremiah 29:11. Well, I know the plans
I think, yeah.
plans to prosper you, give you an expected end. And then if those plans start manifesting and they're conflicting with what you had for you, let's talk about that space, man, because I think that's what we need to deal with as men. Not everybody. There's millions of people want to be LeBron James. Only LeBron is LeBron. It's millions of people want to make it to the league. It's only a handful of people that make it to the league in whatever sports accomplishment you're going after, whatever field you're in.
Yeah.
I can say I ran professional track. I can't say that I was an Olympian, which was my goal, but I can say I made it. You can't say that you were an NFL Hall of Famer, but you got two different Hall of Fame positions, and you at least made it to the league.
Yeah.
And you had to deal with your injuries or whatever. So now let me ask a hard question for you, bro. Is that really settling, or is that pivoting? You know, in the paint, you got to pivot because they got you blocked here. So let me go here. Let me shimmy and fake there and go here.
Yeah.
Is it settling? I know we deal with those real feelings of, man, I settled.
Yeah. I think it is a pivot in the midst of the settlement. You know, it's kind of like as athletes, I'm sure any body who's in a relationship with an athlete understand that, well, male athlete, that we process information differently. You know what I'm saying? Like even my wife, if I don't, you know, pay a certain amount of attention to something, you know, it can cause a conflict.
Yes.
But we were always taught to move on to the next play.
Gotcha.
Shake that off. Have a short memory.
But marriage ain't like that.
It ain't like that, but that's how we're built.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying marriage ain't like that from trial and
Trial and error, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, you got to have an understanding, man, you know, that whole, you know, pivot. And it's all relativity, man. It's all perspective and of what the goals you have set for yourself. And you going blood, sweat, and tearing. It's like investing into a 401k for the 30 years, and then when it's time for you to retire, you don't have anything to show for it. I think a lot of us tend to look at it that way. Now, we've accumulated, you know, some assets along the year, but, you know, I was told when I invested 30 years ago, there would be an 8% return over the life of this and get this at the end, and it's not there. There was a lot of sacrifice But just, you know, in my older age, I'm learning to really appreciate the here and now. You know what I'm saying? The precious present. So
And that
it's
ain't
hard
really,
though.
Yeah, but that ain't really a consolation trophy. I know we're in those days where everybody, and I get that, and I agree with that. Like, come on now, earn what you're trying to. But as you get perspective, as you get older, things change or different. It's not really a consolation trophy to glean, like you said, get it out of the mud. Glean wisdom from what you wanted that didn't happen, but what did happen, and finding what you can get out of it. I don't think that's called consolation trophy. I think that's wisdom. I think that's because, hey, anybody can get bitter and sit in that till they die. Yeah. Let's get real. Anybody can go, oh, I'm supposed to make it. I think that's a lot of why you got people under bridges, and I'm not judging anybody. Tomorrow you can be in a whole different situation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But you do. I've talked with people on the street and under bridges and quote unquote homeless guys or whatever. Man, some of these people are brilliant, bro. Yeah, and their stories are amazing. Yeah. It's like, dang, how in the world you wind up here? Some of it is dare I say, some of it is a conscious decision because I wanted this to happen and it didn't. Yeah. And I'm kind of bitter about that. And if you come talk to me about God, I don't know, I got some issues with that because hey, my son didn't make it, or my marriage didn't make it, or my mama didn't make it. I prayed for her, and then she still died, or whatever the situation. And a lot of people can decide to get in that bitter place of, man, I'm checking out on life because it just didn't happen the way I thought it was supposed to happen. Yeah. I had all this talent, you know, you playing music, you're doing athletics, you're succeeding in academics, and you had all of the talent to do, and you did things. Yeah. But let's say somebody else got all that talent and something didn't happen. They're putting all of their eggs in the basket of make it to the NFL or the NBA or Olympics or whatever your thing is, and it doesn't happen. It's like, oh wow, that didn't happen. I had all the tools to make that happen. So man, I'm backing out on life. I'm just checking out. Let's be real. A lot of people are in that space, and you didn't do that.
Well, you just mentioned eggs and all, you know, in one basket. I'm just speaking from a student athlete's perspective, right? Mm-hmm. So if you got a student athlete that's meeting the obligation of being a student athlete, one side a student class, you got study hall, you got tests, you got quiz, you got lab, you got focus groups and everything. And on the flip side, as an athlete, you got practice, you got to travel, you got film, you got weightlifting, the whole nine, right? It's a grind to be able to navigate both. Right. And if you get to a certain point to where you're striving, you're having successes in both, and then you get to that fourth year to where you're about to graduate, and then things don't work out for you because the flip side of student is, like you said, scholarship of learning all the time, and then acquiring knowledge. Real life, not just book sense. Right. So our constituents, those who are just Terry College of Business graduates or whatever college of business, they get internships, they get real life experiences. So when we come out, we got the paperwork, the degree, but we don't have tangible skills to plug into an ecosystem. So we left holding the bag like we put our eggs in one basket. No, we just met the obligation of being a student, athlete. And we walking around like, man, I need a job. Then you got dudes settle in once again. They did everything they were supposed to do. And, we were taught that, if you do A, B, C, and D, you got pretty much a 90% chance of having success. And it's relative, but in your mind, you have to decide what that looks like at the end of the day. So I think that's a scenario. It's kind of like if you consistently set goals for yourself and you fall short of those goals, we call that disappointment. Whether you pray, you're in the Word. I think free will is consulting with God on a day-to-day. It's not whether I wake up and decide to go 20 versus 285. Right. You follow what I'm saying? So I think that the big thing in that regard is really being able to at least check boxes. Because if you don't check boxes, you become disappointed. And then that disappointment turns to discouragement. And then that discouragement turns to going through the motions, which is what the homeless people you're just talking about. It's not that they checked out on life. They just giving up like, okay, God, you saying my footsteps are ordered. I tried this. It ain't working. All right, whatever. I'm going to just, say thank you every morning and keep going about my business. Well, I pray when whatever I decide to do based on your will, because I'm consulting with you. That shows my free will and my belief in you that I'm walking with you. And then when things don't happen, of course, the way we think, that's why I say the word ain't logic. We can't comprehend what the word is at the end of the day. We can read the words, but we don't never understand what lean not into your own understanding, but now acknowledge me and I'll direct your path.
See, now I'm glad you went there.
You see what I'm saying? That's what free will is.
That's one of my favorite verses.
It's the act of and the going through, the act of me fasting. The act of my prayer and supplication shows that I am a believer, right? That's free will in itself. I don't think it's like the one or two decisions that we make on a daily.
I got you. Would you say one of your favorite verses is Proverbs 18:16?
Oh, that's my favorite verse.
Tell me why.
Because I think understanding your why and your abilities and your gift. A lot of times, man, we get it mixed up. We buy gifts for people and we give it to them. We don't charge people for their gifts. For the gifts that we have. So I think we should do the same thing. Because I think
First of all, quote the verse so that people can know.
Oh yeah, Proverbs 18:16, a man's gift makes room for him.
Okay.
And based on that, I learned that my gift of people and relationships, being a I'm humanitarian, is my gift, my ability to engage and communicate, and people trust me.
And you are selfless.
Yeah, selfless.
You pass off.
Yeah.
You the king of the assist.
Yeah.
I don't watch this work.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Magic Johnson, big
For
dog.
real, you
know what
are.
I'm saying?
You are. I compared you to that movie on Netflix about
The Black
Clarence Avon. Yeah, Black Godfather.
The Black Godfather. Yeah.
I came upon that movie and I watched like this dude is the king of assist.
Yeah.
He knew everybody.
Yeah.
Who knows everybody? I think he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's connected everybody from Michael Jackson to Quincy Jones to politicians to mobsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knew everybody, but he wasn't afraid to not cuff.
Yeah.
Connects. He connected people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do this. Okay, I need to put you over here with it, and he just did it. That's you, bro.
Yeah. I think the difference with me and Mr. Avon is he dealt with people that understood relationships as well. I dealt with people that was looking for an opportunity to do what they do, and then keep it moving.
I don't know, Trey. I don't know if I can agree with that.
Yeah. Because they like he wasn't expecting. He didn't run those plays and expect and set that up. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like it happened organically. Like all his debt was cleared up from a phone call.
Yeah.
That somebody that understood, and I know I've done a lot of stuff like that, for people.
So when I'm playing ball, even at 50 years old, I'm a natural point guard. I'm a natural, and I'm an assist guy.
Yeah.
My son always tells me, "Dad, shoot the ball, stop passing." I naturally pass. Now I'm going somewhere with this, right? Yeah. And I've been over the years, guys would complain like, "Dude, you passed me the ball, you should have shot, or I was too close for the pass," or whatever. So it's been pros and cons, but that's just naturally who I am. Now, if you're not ready for the pass, especially if you play with me more than one time, that's kind of not on me.
Yeah, it's not on you.
That's kind of, how I play. You know I'm looking for it.
Exactly.
You know I'm not going to telegraph it, right? I got my Magic Johnson too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But why I'm saying that is, if you're a natural assist guy and you pass it off, and they're not ready for it, or they don't have the mindset to utilize it the way they need to, or whatever, that ain't on you, bro. Yeah. And I believe Clarence Avant ran into that too. But if that's just naturally who you are, you got to do you. Even my son now, he'll say, "Dad, you just a passer, pass."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you need to shoot sometimes, but hey,
that's you.
That's you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And we can't blame Travis. We can't blame Clarence Avant. Yeah. We can't for being who they are. If you don't, I'm pretty sure if we can talk with him right now, he can tell us several instances where somebody dropped the ball. Yeah. And he gave it to him. I'm trying to give you the game, but he didn't utilize it. Yeah. I wanna pivot a little bit There's a whole lot I can talk to you about, but I don't need a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
It
But
definitely
you
might
can
go
split
out.
the thing up, do a 1 and a 2.
Hey, let's do it already. We just planned the part 2.
Yeah.
So I want to go to. We dealt with that whole you and Clarence Abar type deal. I want to go with the discipleship and the tutelage and talking about Deuce your son and the young guys that come into your life and the people who are coming where you've already been and how you discipleship and mentor, because to me that's a very important thing, mentorship and discipleship. We are in a different time.
Yeah.
We came up where your daddy was not just your dad, not just your coach. I saw that at the funeral.
Yeah.
50, 60 dudes coach.
Yeah, exactly.
They all got up and had like a son story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of different now. I mean, it's the same, but it's kind of different in the fact that they got so much technology.
Yeah.
And they got so many, things that we didn't have. They can hop on YouTube.
It's just distractions.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, man, they got the pressure of perfection and this microwave society to where they don't give it time to matriculate or to cook, if you will, right? Delayed gratification. That's being able to put.
Why is that important?
Delayed gratification is really important, man, because you can't expect everything to happen when you want it to, and that's, the promise of being obedient and doing what you're supposed to do, your sacrifices, your hard work, and then, having faith that it will manifest eventually. I think that's what the delayed gratification is, but we want instant gratification, in this day and time. So,
would you say that's one of the hardest parts of discipling young men? Getting them to buy into the delayed gratification?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And them just think they know more than you.
Right.
Or if you've led somebody up to the point to where they've had massive success and you've been instrumental, and then one day they just decide to jump ship for whatever reasons. There's absolutely no reason for them. I see it all the time. With kids who leave people who train them and help them be a 5-star, help them be a first rounder, and then right when it's time to break bread, they jump ship for whatever reasons. And at the end of the day, man, you can mentor those who want mentorship. I recommend finding a mentor or a consultant or advisor, somebody that you can look up to. But a lot of times, you have to have those organic relationships to where, for whatever reason, I don't know why people decide, at the last minute to leave those who help.
I think there's a couple reasons. They think they know more than they know. You've helped them build up their confidence in what you've trained them to do, so they're confident. When we're confident, we tend to make choices on our own. And they've forgotten that it's about the relationship, and they've checked out on the fact that if he got me this far, it must be some more stuff I don't know yet. Let me rock with
And
it.
the only person that has gotten that right is LeBron James. I mean, just a blueprint of how to empower your circle, right? Because if all of us are able to fish, all of us are able to eat, and we continue to live as we climb, right? From his former teammates, those who wasn't as good as he was, but he understood that they had some real D1 NBA talents other than playing the game. They went to school. One is his assistant, one is his business manager, one is his agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just powerful. Being in that situation, man, to where you're able to really bring those people who was with you up, with you. We use the excuse that, rocket launchers, they drop, the boosters at a certain altitude because they not supposed. I mean, that's an excuse, man. You choose. Me personally, business and personal, it's the same thing with me. Some people say it's business, so they that's justifying, you being a jerk.
Justifying selfish motive.
Yeah, selfish motive at the end of the day. And it's not about that, man. I came up with this shirt about God being the bag. We chasing the bag and we trying to secure the bag and not realizing that God
that's hard.
Is the provider, for everything. It's hard now. It's hard. It's just like back in the day when your parent tell you to shut up and sit down over there.
No,
it hurts your feelings.
I mean, that revelation is hard. I mean,
I know it.
Awesome.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about to believe that God is the bag.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? That's the hard thing because it aligns with faith.
So let me try to say a little something. Because man, so much in my mind as you talking. You talked about
record it, man. Y'all can always cut this thing.
You talked about discipleship, mentoring, and people getting to a place where right before you about to take them to the next level, and they jump ship because they get cocky. Okay, I'm gonna step on both of our toes a little bit.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, I had Olympic aspirations. You had NFL, Hall of Fame aspirations, all that.
MLB.
Right, all that.
All that.
And you get close to it, and we're thinking we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Like the rich young ruler, think we've done enough.
Right. And it don't go the way we think we thought it was supposed to go. And we kind of blame God, bro. And we kind of back off of the mission a little bit. At least the intensity lessens because we're like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of paralleling sometimes when our mentees and our sons and the people we're discipling get a little bit of confidence and they don't want to listen no more.
Yeah.
Because at that moment it becomes a trust factor. It's not so much about the skill set anymore.
Yeah.
It's not about if this coach, father, mentor, whatever is capable to take me to the next level. It's not even really about that. It's about, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to fly my own way. Plus, I don't like everything about what you're doing, and I think I can do a little better. I think we do God like that because Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans that I think towards you. God's plans for you, I'm not even going to say they weren't Hall of Fame nature.
Yeah.
But I know that they were even bigger than that. They were for you to become Deuce's father and mentor him and the people he's going to mentor. They were for you to meet me.
Yeah.
And what if you would have played, didn't get any injuries, and played? I might have never met you.
Yeah, I'd have been out here, buddy. Been out here bad. We're going to go to look at Yeah, I mean, but that's
it would have been in a different context.
But no, that's one of the things, though, Carlton. I think, and this is just me. This is just me. Because I have a true relationship with God.
Amen.
Just like my dad.
We'll get into scripture.
I just think it's both ways. I think I had unwavering faith in God, but when my mama tell me maybe God was protecting you for something, maybe you would have lost your mind. But I'm like, he didn't have faith in me. You follow me? You put this in me to be who I am. You put the desires of my heart to walk a certain way. I ain't perfect. We all strive for perfection, but we ain't perfect. I just think sometimes it's one way about what we're not doing. And I think that's just justification, to put us at ease a lot, man, about, certain things. But because of who I am and my belief, I consider the closest person I am is like David. Even though he did some crazy stuff, he was a man after God's own heart. And I've always been that way. Even as a young kid, I was saying devotions.
And he had to grow and learn.
He had to grow and learn, but he did some dirty stuff.
Do you think he knew he was going to do that dirty stuff?
Yeah, because he consciously did it. Most of that stuff. He thought through it.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Have you ever did anything dirty that you never even expected to be put in a position to do it?
Oh, yeah.
It's just when it happened, you decided to
you
go
had to
there.
react. You had to react. And
then you're like, oh, crap.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
As a father who sees it all, even as an earthly father,
yeah.
you know Deuce better than him.
Yeah.
But you can't tell him that.
Yeah, he won't listen.
I got 3 sons and I know them better than they know themselves.
Yeah.
But I can't tell them that.
Yeah.
Father God the same way. He more so. He knows, man, if I open that door for you, you gonna lose it right now. You gonna turn from David to Saul in 2.5 seconds. And you gonna be loving it too. You know what I'm saying?
But we gonna come back.
Oh yeah, amen.
You know what I'm saying? Because of the seeds that were sown, man. You know, it's some humor into this. I was at the red light the other day, and I saw this person, and they wasn't fit.
Okay.
They didn't seem like they was in their right mind.
Okay.
And I was like, man, that could have been my mama or my daddy. You know, but God had grace,
Believe that.
favor, mercy, man, to where I was born with the people
Come on.
that I was born with. So, you know, it's always a perspective, man. You know, in how we move and what we feel, what we see. But, you know, I think through the long line of you know, experience, real life experiences that we have, you can read it, but it's one thing to walk it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And
we're learning.
yeah, and learning, man. And I think the hardest thing in discipleship is faith. Dre said it in the Quemini. Faith is what you make it. It's the hardest ish since MC Ren.
Right.
And anybody that's seen Straight Outta Compton or listen to, you know, NWA, they know Ren one of the hardest people in the game. Right. I mean, he even just spit fire.
Right.
So for Dre to use that metaphor of faith in MC Ren, that just, you know how hard it is. You know what I'm saying?
Why is it hard though? Why? Why is faith hard?
Because, I mean, I don't think it's you being selfish or in control. It's just, you know, it's like the free will and God, you know, we have to make these hard decisions. And I think even Christ, man, and all he did and all he was able to do when he took on and all he didn't want to do.
Lord Gethsemane, he flat out says it. If there's another way to do this, let's rock with that.
Yeah, because, but at the end of the day, that was someone that took on the image of God, that knew his purpose. And a lot of times we don't know our purpose. I mean, we don't. We know we serve and, you know, give praise to God, but we're walking around right now trying to figure out what our purpose is.
And he decided to be obedient.
And that's the obedience side.
Sometimes you can know your purpose.
But he knew it. Well, not really. You don't really know your purpose.
Well, you can know enough about it to know
to
what
walk
your next
in
steps need to be.
Yeah.
But still not walking them.
Yeah.
Is where I was going.
Yeah, I got you.
Sometimes you can be cognizant of where the direction you're supposed to be going and say, no, I ain't going
that way.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Christ laid the foundation of obedience to something part of him didn't want to do, but he decided to be obedient anyway for the greater good, and that's our example. And where I'm going is that it's one reason I was so excited to do this interview with you, bro, and we're definitely going to do a part 2 because it's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
As I look at your life, as I've gotten to know you over several years and all that you've accomplished and the things that you struggle with, I think it's paramount. I mean, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's just so perfect because so many people are there, whether they can articulate it or not, whether they've touched the levels of heights that you have, sports, athletically, business-wise, or they're just a regular Joe working a regular job. Everybody has goals and aspirations.
It's the tangible aspect of being a believer. I don't say religious because that's all man-made.
Come on, now you're preaching.
Yeah, I speak more so in, you know, the Most High and then Christ, us being in the image, you know. But
relationship, which is about trust.
It's about trust, yeah.
Which is what faith is.
Exactly.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's why faith is hard, because it's like, do you trust me? You get upset with your son or disciple or whatever after you done put in all this work with them, and they did want to do their own thing. You get upset.
Just cussed them out the other day. Just straight slap cussed them out the other day.
Why? Because
why you think I'm your biggest fan, big dog?
Right.
So you think God's saying that to me? I'm your biggest fan.
Of course.
I done did all of this for you.
Of course.
Pretty much.
He said
So I'm being cussed out right now. Okay.
We all went. Well, I was gonna say he cussed us out.
I mean,
we all deal with that. Is my point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really? You gonna act like I'm not gonna rock with you just because you can't see what's on the side of this one?
Yeah.
I done brought you through the rest of them.
Yeah.
I want to touch on this real quick before we wrap this down because this probably be more than part 2. But you walk in some elite circles now because of your accomplishments, because of the things people you met with. You find yourself in rooms and spaces with some important people. And I told you in the email, I told you before in the conversations, and you got a big heart. And I'm not saying that just to, because you're my dog or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got a big heart. You're a giver. You're the king of the assist, like I just said. Everybody in those circles ain't like that.
Ain't none of them. Ain't none of them in that circle, man. And I think that's the frustrating part of it. Because I find myself in those rooms. I don't think it's because of accomplishments or whatever. It's favor, man. Like
favor for a purpose.
Yeah. So, but I still don't know why I'm in those rooms. Nothing really has come of it being in those rooms. I'm talking about to the upper echelon of like echelons.
Well, that's what you think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
you don't see it.
I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it. But at the end of the day, I find myself walking amongst kings.
Come on.
You know, if you can keep your head when all about you is
Proverbs
losing
18:16.
and blaming it on you. And the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. Y'all go check it out.
Okay.
You know, being able to walk amongst kings and then
wasn't that the one in the movie, the basketball movie? Wasn't that the poem he was quoting Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh yeah, and
that's the same
and
poem,
Coach
right?
Carter.
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
I think it was.
Sorry,
I think it was. I think. But yeah, man, it's I don't know. It's just one of those things that we got to continuously,
that's right.
You know, continuously
Keep going.
track and get good at it, man. It's like working out. You gotta continuously practice faith. It can be exhausting, man. You gotta figure out either people to replenish, because I'm always giving, and you become depleted, and then you find yourself in a cave in plain sight. People see you still moving because through obedience, you do what you control. You treat people the way you want to be treated, but yet you're still in a cave trying to figure out what's next. I find myself in that place a lot because I've always been a consultant, a contractor. I've never had a job. I've always been an entrepreneur striving. And the reason I went that direction was
pause.
Yeah.
You've never had a job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had jobs.
I'm just saying.
And even as an entrepreneur, you still have people to answer to. Whoever cutting your check.
I get it.
Yeah.
But just that alone.
Yeah.
You know how many people would like to say that they've had enough faith. See, now you're going to get me to preaching.
Yeah.
To walk their path.
I've been walking it, but
enough to be able to say, I ain't never even had a traditional type job. I'm being obedient, doing what God's. Even as you're confused about the rewards and the meaning, and you've still been obedient enough. You know how many people, this is where I'm trying to go with it. You know how many people have what you have inside of you, have the call and the passion or whatever to step out on faith, get out that boat, walk on water, but don't ever pull the trigger on it and settle for the quote unquote regular life. There's nothing wrong with a regular job.
You just pulled something out just then.
Come on, talk to me.
Because I always feel that I struggle with faith. But you just said, because of my faith, I've been walking this walk.
Travis.
And going this path. That's dope. I never even thought that. So I'm going to go to God with that tonight. I've been faithful.
Look, don't mention my name if you go in there the wrong way. I'm just saying. I don't need no drama. Not no extra drama. I already got
Austin told me, and he's a direct connector of you, that I have faith, that I've walked in that faith. So, but no, I get you.
I've watched the post.
Yes.
I watched Deuce post.
Yeah.
Your post about Deuce.
Yeah.
I've been cutting Deuce hair since he was knee high.
5 years old.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's bigger than me now. Dude look like a freak of nature, right?
Yeah.
I watch your post and I see what you put in him, bro.
Yeah.
I dare to say if we sat Deuce down right now and asked him, do he even have a clue about how he got there? Oh, he can say, I'm just following my dad.
Yeah.
He probably don't even agree with half the stuff you got him doing.
He don't.
He just look up, see the results, and go, oh wow, I guess the old man know what he doing.
But let me tell you something now. But through his obedience, though,
come on, watch what you're saying, because you're gonna have to eat him in a minute.
He's been resilient.
Come on,
because I mean, just going from, you know, he was a grade ahead and, you know, playing golf, transitioned late, missed critical years in baseball, jumped right into a really, really, really competitive, you know, landscape. To where, you know, black folk right now are not even really involved like it was when we were growing up. You know, yeah, we knew the Darryl Strawberries, the Dwight Goodens, the Barry Larkins, the Ken Griffey's, the Ken Griffey Juniors of the world. You don't have that now. You know, they're from, you know, outside the soil. They got, you know, melanin, but they not born from the soil. And then to jump back and still get the opportunity to track that dream, I try my best to keep them away from sports. Because I knew 0.08% transition from one phase to the next, whether it be from high school to college, college to the league.
That's a mean statistic.
Yeah, it's a mean statistic. So 92.02, which, I mean, the percentages may be wrong, but they're right in line. You know, I'm betting all day on that 92% that it may not happen. So for him to up and go to Stony Brook Prep, man, is huge. But God provided. It's a Christian institution. He had to interview. He had to qualify academically, had a 4.2 GPA, and then, you know, had to perform in a distant land, you know. And let me tell you, the experience of going to Dunwoody, you know, I can imagine what our parents went through, you know, back in the day, you know, just coming out of, you know, civil rights in the 60s, 70s. You still had a huge amount of discrimination. Just think that's why, you know, systemic scenarios is why the M2M program existed in the first place. Right. And then to send us an hour away, hour back.
So the M2M program is minority to majority.
Yeah.
Who were busing kids in minority neighborhoods.
From the south side to the north side of town.
Which we both were a part of.
Yep, that we were both, you know, a part of. And because of that experience, it opened up my world to a huge amount of things, which gave me the inclination, because my wife, she wasn't with it at first. You know, she lived in a nice neighborhood, went to Latonia. You know, when Latonia was popping back in the day.
The Cosby side of
the Cosby side of the case. Hidden Hills and all that. They had golf courses over there, man.
I be teasing my wife about that too. She was on that.
Bro, we come from a 1-bedroom. We right by East Hampton and Little Vietnam.
The cater where it's gonna be greater eventually.
Exactly. But it gave me the inclination and the audacity to try him, and he got it, man. Opportunity presented itself, man. So even in him, he's been obedient, because he could have fought me on all that. When I'm leaving the house, I don't want to leave. I want to do this. But he goal driven just like me. But the thing is, you got to be able to check those boxes off, man. And I think I plead with God all the time, because I just know how disappointment turns to discouragement, and then discouragement turns to going through the bush. Because we don't need to lose no more souls out here, bro. People turning away from the faith, yes, because of the hard time.
The faith,
yeah.
It's not, the word to me is synonymous with trust, bro.
Yeah,
they're turning away from the faith because they don't have trust. Deuce did what you told him to do, probably not understanding, because he trusts you. That's where I'm going.
But if I continuously, and this is humor again, that's just what I do. Hey, I'll be like, hey, Carter, don't slap me in the back of the head. I'm going to go over, you slap, pow. And then Carter said, all right, I'm about to fall back. You going to catch me? And then you just like, I hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? I think after a number of those experiences, you're like, come on now, this time I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D, and and then you catch me that last time. But it has to be some type of, you know, not really, you know what I'm saying, like, because if not, you're gonna start going through the motions, man. You know, through disappointment. And that's what I mentor, and that's why I'm keeping it real with you, because you my guy.
Yes, sir.
And we speak real, the word and all. I'm speaking from on
the word ain't real unless you wrestle with it.
It ain't, because I'm speaking for both sides, you know.
But it's gonna win.
People say I got one side in and one side out, because I'm a true believer, man. I'm you know, striving to be Christ-like. You know, Christ left the blueprint on how people should treat each other.
That's right.
And, you know, I think a lot of us wrestle with, you know, us going through what we're going through is because of, you know, past generations. You know, you go to Deuteronomy 28 and you read those passages and you'll understand people they talking about got melanin in their skin and they've been dispersed throughout.
Right.
But once you understand who you are in that word and not just associating yourself with words, you're able to kind of move forward
That's right.
in a different direction because you've identified the promise that was made to you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just because I'm a believer now and that because I read this
religious.
that I ain't religious and then I'm gonna follow this and hope that some of the residue.
Relationships.
No, bro, it's not the residue. It's for us.
It's the real deal.
We're in there. You know what I'm saying? And I think once you understand where you come from and who you are,
If Deuce is sitting in his dorm room right now,
yeah. He just traveled. They had to go to, I think Massachusetts today. 4 o'clock. They got on the ferry from Long Island to play 2 games.
if he's in his dorm room or on his bus or wherever, wondering, let's say he's discouraged because things are going the way he want to go, and he's like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
At the end of that thought process, it's going to be a vision of you. I'm here because of my dad.
Know why? You remember I started off with that?
Yeah, talent. He did what he was supposed to do. Yes, but the real reason I'm here is because I'm my dad. I'm trusting my dad. So I'm bringing it all full circle to say, wherever we find ourselves, even whether you obey and do the due diligence and,
Yeah.
and make sure you put yourself in position to glean the promises, or even if you check out and don't or whatever, at the end of the day, you got to deal with your why on a trust factor, either not trusting God or I am trusting God, even if I don't understand it all. I want to read these scriptures before we shut this one down.
Okay.
Because we definitely going to do a part 2. Psalm 73. And I want to let the Holy Spirit do something real quick before we get out of here on this. Psalm 73. This is a psalm, it says a psalm of Asaph. When I grew up, I always heard this psalm was David. But when I did a little research, Asaph is not David. Now, of course, certain scholars and people say that, well, maybe Asaph kind of dictated David's words in this scripture or whatever, and maybe it is. So maybe it is David, and Asaph is just kind of doing the secretarial thing, penning it, or maybe it's actually Asaph. Me personally, I think it's actually Asaph. We don't hear a lot about him, but I just think this chapter is powerful, and I want to end with discussing this a little bit. Psalm 73. I'm gonna read it from the KJV. It says, "Truly God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me," now Asaph is looking at the wicked, and he's like, man, what is going on? A lot of this ain't making sense. He said, "But as for me, my feet were almost gone." Check this out, Trav. "My steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious at the foolish." He looking at the people you in them rooms with. He looking at them and he's envious. He said, "When I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men." How many dudes you know, good dudes, trying to just do it right,
Going through it, bro.
going through, and you like, what is really going on?
Yeah.
"Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain." They doing whatever they want. They run around on their spouses. They cheating on taxes. They doing all everything, and they cocky at the same time, right?
No grace. They ain't giving nobody no grace.
Come on. "Therefore pride compasseth them as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens." Wow. "And their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, How doth God know? And there is knowledge in the Most High." A questioning God's knowledge. "Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches." They ain't losing. Seem like they're increasing.
Yeah.
"Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocence. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children." I'm going to offend somebody if I speak real on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
"When I thought to know this, It was too painful for me, Asaph said. Because when I tried to really understand this, I'm like, there's too much to deal with, man. These nasty people doing nasty things seem like they prosper.
Yeah.
Until I went into the sanctuary of God, then understood I their end. He said, all of a sudden I understood where their destination is.
Yeah.
Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. They think they secure, but they not on a solid foundation. Thou castest them down into destruction. How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. You hold me, God. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel. Afterward receive me to glory. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire beside thee. My flesh and my heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart, and my portion forever. For lo, they that are from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring. Jump all the way up to the top here. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a-whoring from thee. But it is good for me to draw near to God, and I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I may declare all thy works. I know that was a long passage of scripture to read. I know attention span is real short these days. But I wanted to do that because I think it's very important to look at a man of God here. Asaph was a part of David's team of worshipers. He saw everything David went through. He's paying attention to what's going on. He's looking at the wicked, and he's like, man, when I put my eyes on them, Isaiah 26:3, thou will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. When I put my eyes on the wicked, and it seemed like they coming up on every end.
Every end.
When I look at that for too long, man,
That's
I
a
get
comparison gap
depressed.
too. I know Solomon speak on that.
Yeah,
About chasing the wind.
yeah.
Ecclesiastes. I think at the end of the day, man, responsible of protection and providing, for his family. I think at the end of the day, that's all we want. It ain't about the shine or whatever. I think we lose ourselves a little bit in that regard. But I think if people could just do that, provide to the level of, it ain't got to be riches. It got to be able to just meet the needs of the family. I think, and that's what our folk did back in the day. Every Friday, they fried fish. They bailed whoever was out of jail. They went to jail Monday. they get a case of beer, and then people would hang out. Whether it was Kirkwood, Gresham Park, or whatever it was. It was men. Yeah, man, it was simple, dog. We played outside until the lights came on. Everybody was able to pour wisdom, into one another. And I think if we just get back to that ability to provide, man, I just think the gap is widening from rich and poor. The middle class is starting to fade out because
That's intentional.
We're tricked into thinking that we're there. We start doing things out of our means. We find ourselves in a indebted or slavery scenario. That we just gotta wake up, man, and truly understand the importance of being okay. I think that's why they was really forced in reopening the economy during the pandemic, because during the pandemic you had everybody helping each other. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everybody
got no time to beef.
They had time to beef because we know it was so much uncertainty. So you was concerned with your four walls, your neighbors, or whomever. But the Great Divide happened. We had another scenario with the Arbery scenario down in Bainbridge, and the Great Divide happened. So I think we got to move forward from all of the distractions, man.
That's right.
And refocus on the word. But I just think I think it's relief. I think that's the word. We get massages and we take medicine for relief. I think the word provides that when at a certain point of your obedience that you get relief from whatever it is you're going going through. You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
So,
Come to me, all who are heavy laden, all weary, heavy laden, I'll give you rest. The rest is in Him, bro. It's like, yeah, He'll allow you to go through a season of just everybody taking shots at you.
yeah.
It almost seemed like He sick the devil on you sometimes, right?
Just like Job. I was reading Job the other day. I was like, man, that's dirty. Bro, I was really upset because Job was asking God questions that we ask. Man, what have we done? You know what I'm saying? Why? I mean, what have I done to go through this? He didn't do nothing.
Press fast forward. He did do something. He didn't do nothing wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
He didn't do nothing wrong. But he still had the questions that you and I have on a day-to-day.
Listen.
He sounds just like me asking God them questions.
Okay. If you that guy,
Yeah.
it's a target on your back, bro.
Yeah.
It's a target on your back, whether you like it or not.
But why?
Whether you like it or not.
I get it. It's one thing to have a target that he can deal with. It wasn't no way he could deal with that spiritual warfare. God sick the devil on that
He
man.
did deal with it, though.
Said don't kill him, but then, okay, you didn't kill him. Well, take his health, still don't kill him. You know, take everything away, still don't kill him. Like,
Look, I'm
I
not
was
going
like-
to sit here and even pretend
yeah,
like I can defend every aspect of that or can speak to all of them.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do that. But I am going to say this.
yeah,
The little bit I do know about
Yeah.
what I've learned about the book of Job. Press fast forward, dog.
okay,
Get to the end of it. And see, not just that God replaced everything he lost. Double
Yeah.
for you trouble type deal.
yeah,
I ain't leaving it there, just there. Job now got perspective. Go back and read the book. Towards the end, when God finally opened his mouth.
yeah.
See, Job's friends came with all their little quote unquote comfort, and all they were doing was accusing him because they trying to figure things out religiously.
But see the thing is, cause they were like, "Hey, my dude, I don't know what you done did."
Because that's
the same thing we're gonna be saying.
It depends on who you are.
Yeah,
Because that's as far as their understanding.
yeah.
can
That's why I
go.
said it ain't.
As they look, if you trying to understand divinity
Yeah,
with your limited mind,
yeah.
you're gonna look like a fool at some
Yeah,
point.
they're like just learning how to add or subtract, and you doing calculus.
Right. You're not ready for this.
Yeah.
So if you trying to figure out all of this HELL that
Yeah.
Job has gone through
Yeah.
with your limited understanding, yeah, that's what you're gonna do, bro. You did something.
Yeah,
Come on, let's
you-
come on
come
out.
on now.
And
You
get this
cheating on your
over
wife,
with,
what them
something.
chicks at?
Right.
Yeah, something.
But God give us a perspective that ain't none of that the case.
It wasn't none of that the case.
Well, none of that the case. You know, I'm gonna submit to you. We done already went too long. Well, I'm gonna submit to you.
Well, it started just your two. You know, 'cause they gonna
The
have
beginning of part
folks
two.
intrigued.
Bro, he was his MVP. He look what he told. Have you considered my servant Job?
And he offered it.
Because he knew, bro, that he loved him for the right reasons. Now that didn't mean Job was going, because once Job's friends were accusing him, he went to defending himself. That's how we get caught up. Satan started accusing us. We go to argue back and forth. Now we done lost our peace. Because
Yeah.
ain't no winning that game.
Yeah.
He's the accuser.
Yeah.
And he'll accuse you through whoever's available.
Yeah.
Okay, if you get in that debate, you done.
Yeah.
You cooked. Because that's not going to stop.
Yeah.
That's why we got to rest in him.
Yeah.
He starts defending himself and he started talking recklessly and crazy. Oh, curse the day I was born. Hold on, Job.
Yeah.
You didn't even ask to be
Why
born.
am I here?
Like, you cross a divine line now. Okay, you're going too far. And I get it.
Yeah.
The pain he's in, I get it.
Because that's him walking in the flesh.
But at the end of all of it,
Yeah.
Job says, when God asks some questions, okay, y'all know everything. Everybody trying to figure me out. I got a few questions. Let's see if anybody can answer. Where were you when I
Created the heavens and the earth.
and
Yeah.
set the waters at a certain place and say you can go this far and can't go no more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were you? Can you wrap a noose around Leviathan's neck and tame him like a Rottweiler?
Yeah.
You know, that wasn't the words, but I'm just saying. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Talk to me. So
Yeah.
we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
After all that, Joe goes, my bad. I thought I knew.
Yeah.
My ears had heard of you. Now I see.
I see. Yeah.
So that's the perspective, bro. It's we're in a time, bro, where God has been reduced to this just a regular guy like us. And on one hand, I think that's it's good in it because now we're not just looking at him as a God so far off that he don't love us enough to come beside us and chop it up with us.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it does a disservice because we forget that he's God. He's divine. He had no beginning. He has no end.
And we made in that image, so we should have the same energy
We do.
in us
We do. That's why we
to
gotta
do whatever.
But that's why we gotta watch our perspective.
Yeah.
We do, but he created us. We
Yeah.
didn't create ourselves.
Yeah, he created us.
He's
Ain't
the
nobody
origin.
created. Ain't nobody created him.
He's the origin.
Yeah.
So yeah, we religion has done us a disservice and kind of minimized our value, who we really are in God. It's just, I'm just a lowly sinner, and I just. I think it's some mistakes in that. You have to come to him humble first, but then you have to come to the realization of who you are in him, so that you can walk in your purpose. But nothing changes the fact that God is God all by himself. He transcends time. We call him the Alpha and Omega. That sounds deep, but it's really as deep as we can go to define it. He has no beginning.
Yeah.
He just was.
Yeah.
That kind of give me a headache.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? You can't wrap your brain around that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a part 2. But bro, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate you being willing to do this. And I just want to challenge you and me myself. Hey bro, just be open to the answers. It's okay to ask questions. We grew up kind of hearing, you can't ask God why. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Just be okay if he don't say nothing.
And that's a relationship.
That's right.
When you can go back and forth. Absolutely.
My man.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate being on this almighty podcast.
I said in the zone for the end zone that she's a title for this purpose. We have to put ourselves in position to get to the promised land. We got to get focused. You mentioned distractions. We got to juke the distractions, put everything to the side. We got to get our mind focused on the end zone. I don't know what your end zone is, but you got to get in that zone to be focused on it. And as distractions come, disappointments come, understand it's part for the course. It's part of it. Just get to that finish line. God will be there to get the answers. Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Talk Pastor Patch Podcast. My big little bro, Travis Stroud.
Thank you.
We're going to do a second.
ATL all day.
All day.
Decatur. Yeah, Decatur was great. Forget ATL, man. We need to put DEC
He
on
said
there.
that. I didn't say
No,
that.
I'm just
I got a lot
saying.
of
People
ATL
always talking
friends.
about that,
I'm just messing.
that little song that they got out about you ain't. Man, we from the A. All this.
Come on, all of it.
Man, that's a whole nother podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Talk Pastor Patch Podcast. Have a great day. One love.